Hi, my name is Murtaza Vali and I'm the curator of Guest Relations, a new show at Jameel Art Center that looks at the hospitality industry and hotels in particular. It has 30 artists from around the world. Specifically tries to unpack the historical, social, political, cultural ramifications of a process of intense touristification, which is something that Dubai has experienced over the last 2 decades.
My name is Morin. I'm a curator here at Art Jameel, and I'm the co-curator with Murtaza Vali of Guest Relations.
The exhibition starts off at the street level with the hotel sign and the welcome desk. Then it moves into a section that's dedicated to the building that looks at kind of landmark hotels and their specifically modernist landmark hotels and their architecture and the social and collective role they play in people's memories and in history. The first room is dedicated to the building. It works to kind of complicate the ways in which these buildings are understood within branding campaigns by either state entities or private entities.
My name is Gillo Tirado Rivera, and I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico. My work usually talks about landscape tourism and how landscape is being exploited for making hospitable for other people coming to our places or our countries. My other work is a series that I title Sandcastle, and this is a metaphor of how the longevity of these structures in the coastal area, because water are rising, and in 10, 20, 25 years, it's question about these structures, how they're gonna be falling apart. So it talks about the planning, the development, and how these structures talks or do not talks with the environment that they are surrounded by.
The second room is inspired by the lobby and the hotel's public spaces. So the shops, the restaurants, the cafes, the bars, the pool, the gardens, the banquet halls, the reception halls. And in this section, we were very interested in looking at the hotel as a space of stagecraft.
One of the artworks I really want to talk about is an artwork that I find particularly important, is a painting by Sveiken titled Hotel Le Royal from 1994. Sveiken worked at Hotel Le Royal for 40 years and then realized he could make a lot more money by selling his paintings to the guests. And the painting that we have, it's one of the first large paintings that he did, where he represented the social life of the hotels with a very fascinating sense of perspective, because he was self-taught and didn't do painting and be considered a professional or proper way. And still, I find it maybe the most vivid depiction of hotel life and labor that is in this exhibition.
The third gallery is dedicated to the room, which is in some sense the core or the heart of a hotel. In that room, there are a series of works by artists who are complicating our notion of the room as a site of rest and refuge. For us, there's a series of a photographic work by a Tibetan artist named Tenzing Dakpa. He visits a hotel run by his family in northeastern India. We also wanted to complicate this notion of the room as refuge by including works that reveal the labor that's required to maintain the room, so housekeeping and other types of labor that are important parts of the hospitality industry but are otherwise not visible to patrons.
These palm trees are made from mops and plungers. So this is a work that talks about tourism industry, the jobs that generates, particularly from where I am, that is in the Caribbean. So I wanted to talk about the dichotomy of this element and how tourism is seen as a good economy, but it really isn't that good at all for people who live on these areas.
Another work that is particularly meaningful to me and that I'm very happy we were able to bring is the work of socio-political, who's an artist from France. She lives in Paris. And it's a work titled The Hotel, L'Hôtel, Room 44. So this work of socio-political, The Hotel, is a body of work during which she went to Venice for several months, and she worked as a housekeeper in a Venetian hotel. She had faked her resume, pretended to have worked in hotels before, and was hired by a palace Venetian palace. And she would just slightly go through the guests' stuff and belongings and take pictures and take notes. And it relates very directly to the new commission by Mati jury, who spent 3 years, which is a lot more than socio-political, as Emirates cabin crew.
Okay, hello, my name is Mati Jury. I'm an artist. I work across performance, video, installation, bunch of mediums. In my practice, I'm interested in the tension between exoticism and the exotified. Coming from Mauritius Island, I'm really interested in the labor and politics involved in presenting this paradise and how it shows to the rest of the world. So I have 2 works in this exhibition. I have what we're seeing behind of me and the video that we're hearing, and they're based on a durational performance that I did called Emirates staff number 460596, where I worked as an Emirates cabin crew for the length of 3 years, their standard issue contract. In that sense, I was interested in embodying escapism, just becoming a little tool in this big travel economy. The work you're seeing behind me is an installation I made in collaboration with the artist Nabla Yahya. That's basically recalling from memory the crew rest compartment, so the space where on long-haul flights crew get to rest. It's a space that's very private, that's out of bounds, and a space we were supposed to rest and optimize in order to become fully operational on a flight. So just trying to reconnect with lost memory.
The 4th room is dedicated to the corridor, which is this liminal space that connects the public space of the lobby or the other public parts of the hotel to this private refuge of the room. And as a liminal space, it's a space that's always been coded or understood with a certain degree of fear and anxiety or dread. It reminds us that the hotel is not only a comfort zone, but also the zone of contact. It's also a space of surveillance, a site of surveillance. And so we wanted to bring some of those things to the fore in this section. The 5th and final section is entitled Portals, and it looks at our hospitality industry as a site or a jumping off point for narratives, for stories, for travels, for itineraries, for journeys.
My name is Abdul Halik Aziz. I'm a visual artist based in Colombo, Sri Lanka. I work with multiplicity of mediums, including video, publication, photography, installation, etc. This work is called, on this picture you can see a local man presenting his jumping skills. It basically brings together a number of screenshots taken from Instagram, largely in 2019, and I was very curious about how this representation of the country not just conditions sort of like the global understanding of what Sri Lanka is, which is like this tropical island paradise, but also like manages to terraform physical landscapes and material landscapes on the ground. So that's really what this project was about. Basically, I'm really looking at sort of like a certain kind of a neo-Orientalist representation of a tropical island, which I think is also quite uniform across a lot of tourist destinations in the world today.
In this final section, there are other points in the exhibition where we've also included displays that tear with the audience's archives and historical materials. This particular research display is about the Palace Hotel in Jerusalem, which was built in the late 1920s as a way of encouraging Muslim tourism, pilgrimage to Jerusalem. And the archival display tells the story of the hotel through the years. It was initiated by the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem at the time and a group of prominent Palestinian businessmen who were interested in encouraging trade and industry within Palestine and across the Arab world. So there is also a common understanding from our current vantage point in the early 21st century that hotels in some sense are non-places. They are part of this kind of global network of the hospitality industry where it's the same experience everywhere, where you kind of travel and move between an infrastructure that's built to serve you, but is also dislocated in some way from the landscape it's situated in. And the exhibition actually works really hard to kind of like oppose that notion by regrounding hotels and the hospitality industry within histories, geographies, bodies, materialities, and narratives. So in some sense, we're replacing or re-landing the hotel.